Hey guys, thanks so much for dropping by. Before the video starts, please remember to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and leave a comment. And by doing so, you're automatically entered into a draw to win some free CGC grading. That's right. When I hit 300 subscribers, I'm going to use one of those YouTube internet doohickey things to select a random person to win 3 free modern tier gradings by CGC. I'm going to clean and press those books before shipping them down, and I'm going to pay for all the shipping. All right. So remember, subscribe, hit the like button, and leave a comment. Thanks so much, and enjoy the video. Hey guys, Kevin the Comic Doctor coming in from my shop here in Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. Today I want to talk a little bit about submitting your books for pressing and submitting your books to CGC. Now, I'm asked questions about this on almost a daily basis from new clients and even from existing clients who want clarification about the process. Well, I want to talk a little bit about some things you should consider before sending your books out to be pressed by someone, not just me. And by the way, this is not an advertisement for my services, believe it or not. There are like hundreds and hundreds of guys now pressing and cleaning comic books, and that's fantastic. There's a lot of need out there, so there's a lot of very talented pressers out there that are filling that need. But I want to talk a little bit about things you should consider before you send your books out with somebody or you hand over your books to someone. Okay, I've been doing this now for 10 years. I have clients that have been with me from the get-go. And the thing is, how have I maintained that? How have I maintained these relationships with these various clients? Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about that right now. The first thing I want to talk about is availability. And what I mean by availability is when someone contacts me or through phoning me or texting me or emailing me, am I taking 5 days to get back to them, or am I getting back to them within a reasonable amount of time? So that's a very important first thing you should look for. If you're reaching out to somebody who's offering CGC submission service or pressing services, are they returning your phone calls in a timely fashion? Are they responding to your emails quickly? I would say within at least 24 hours. And if not, then what makes you think they're going to respond to you when they have your books? Keep that in mind. Now, the next point isn't the most important point I want to talk about, but it's something I think that is something you can consider. And that is, where are you meeting these people who are taking your comics from you? Are you meeting them at a Tim Hortons or at a coffee shop somewhere? And by the way, if you're American, Tim Hortons is a very famous coffee shop up here in Canada. Are you meeting, in a parking lot at a Walmart? Something to consider. I mean, once you hand over your comics, then how can you find them? Is your only access to these people through email? Anyways, I felt personally that at a certain point, after doing pressing for several years, I decided I was going to get a brick and mortar shop. And yeah, it costs money. It's expensive. Insurance is expensive. But I want to give my clients a comfortable environment where they could come to and find me if they wanted to. Again, not the most important thing, but something to keep in mind. Okay. Next is shipping schedules. Now, I don't understand. I'll tell you, I've taken on many clients because of their experience with other people who submitted books on their behalf to CGC, and they waited in excess of a year and a half to get their books back. Now, I've been doing this for CGC for about 7 or 8 years. I've sent thousands of books to CGC now, and I don't think, maybe when I first started with CGC, they had a very slow turnaround time, but even at that point, I never waited a year for a comic book. Never. So I don't know why some people that submit books are making their clients wait these exorbitant amounts of time. So before you hand over your books, find out their time, get some decent timelines, at least approximate timelines. I tell my clients generally, like probably 95% of the times, 4 to 6 months, pressing, cleaning, CGC, shipping, the books are back in your hands. That is usually a fair turnaround time that I've been able to adhere to for the most part. Now, sometimes it goes a bit longer than that. And as long as I'm in contact with my clients, they let them know what's going on and give them updates. They don't seem to mind if it goes a little bit beyond that. But I'm telling you honestly, it really rarely has gone much longer than that. So if they're telling you it's going to take a year and a half, go somewhere else. You shouldn't have to wait a year and a half for your comic books, especially. And I'll tell you something else. If you're sending high value books, like if you're sending an ASM 1 or just a big book worth over $1,000, there's no reason why you should be waiting that long. That's all. There's no reason. If you want more information on that, give me a call and I'll explain that to you. But there's no reason if you're sending a high-end book that it should take that long. I just finished up an ASM 1. It's going off to CGC. And it'll be back in about a week and a half. Okay. Why people are waiting a year? I have no clue. I know that if you use CCS, it does extend the time your books are at CGC. That is true. So if you're signing up for CCS and you want that extra bit of work done to your book, then yeah, you are going to wait a little bit longer. But even over a year, I still think that's a little excessive, and I don't think you should be waiting that long. Next, I want to talk a little bit about shipping methods. How are they sending your books to CGC? Are they popping them in the mail with Canada Post or with USPS? I hope not. I really hope not. Make sure they're using reliable, competent courier service. I exclusively use FedEx. It costs slightly more than Canada Post. It costs, slightly more than some of the other couriers, but it is worth it. I want to know that when the books leave my hands, they're going to be taken care of and that they're going to be delivered when they say they're going to be delivered. I don't want to leave any guesswork with shipping. I use the best. FedEx has honestly gone above and beyond, probably on 3 occasions, to put my mind at ease when I was worried about a parcel that I was sending off to CGC. I'll tell you right now, UPS does not do that, has never done that. Canada Post has never done that, especially Canada Post. So if you want, and you know what, and if they want to send your books with a different courier and you want FedEx, ask them to send it through FedEx. Tell them you'll pay the extra $15, $20, whatever. Make sure that their delivery service is reputable. And remember, if you're shipping a book from Canada to Sarasota and you use Canada Post, if your books go missing once USPS has them, good luck. Good luck. I would never wish that upon anyone. That would be the most awful experience, to try to find your books. If you use Canada Post and now your books are in USPS's hands, good luck. That's all I got to say. Next, I want to talk about. Well, this is interesting. Actually, I've been hearing a lot about guys who claim to be CGC reps, or they call it dealer members. I'll put a little clip on here in a second, a cutaway. But essentially, I'm a CGC dealer member. If you go to CGC's website, they have a little tab at the top which talks about their CGC member dealer members, and you can find all across the world, actually, people that are representatives of CGC. So that's a good place to start, actually, if you're looking for someone to press your books or someone to grade your books. Go there, and find someone close to you. But what I've heard as of late is there are a lot of guys claiming to be CGC dealer members when they're not CGC dealer members. And what they do is they'll take your books and they might have a little arrangement with their local comic book shop or with another person, and they'll have them submit your books on their behalf. So here we go. You're giving your books to somebody to submit your books on your behalf. Then they take your books and give it to somebody else to submit on their behalf. Yeah, that's not a recipe for disaster, is it? So be very careful. Make sure the people you're giving your books to submit to CGC actually are CGC dealer members. Otherwise, send the books yourself. Really, send the books yourself. I'm going to do a video in the next few weeks about how to, pack and prep and send books to CGC yourself if you want to. It's harder for Canadians because it's very expensive to ship books. I get that, but for Americans, it's very inexpensive, the shipping. I see the rates, and you're the master of your own domain. There's no other people getting involved. So next, let's talk a little bit about this is an important one that I think people often just kind of don't want to think about because they don't know how to do it. And this is insurance. I mentioned earlier I have shop insurance. Of course, I have shop insurance. But I also made sure that when I had a policy, I got an insurance policy, it included shipping insurance. And that was critical for me because I knew I was going to be doing a lot of CGC submissions. And oftentimes I was going to submit books of great value. So I wanted to cover myself. No way would I, you guys saw, if you follow me on Instagram, you saw I just sent that TMNT #1 first printing into CGC. It's a 7.5. It's got a $20,000 book. I'm not going to submit that book without insurance. I'm not crazy. And I'm certainly not going to do it if it belongs to somebody else. So you need to really figure out and find out what kind of insurance they have and if they are covered and if they're covered for enough. You want to talk about deductible too. Is there a deductible on the insurance? I don't mind. I have $1,000 deductible on my insurance policy. I'm willing to pay $1,000 to get someone's book covered if it goes missing or if something God forbid happens to it. But find out about their insurance and what kind of insurance they have, and make sure they have shipping insurance. You don't want to be you don't want to send books to somebody who doesn't have that. All right. Now, when it comes to pressing and CGC submissions, whoever you send them to, make sure you get some paperwork. I don't know if I have any of my paperwork here. Let's see if I've got some. Do I? Well, if you've submitted to me, you know, I'll just pop this up. Oh, better cover the person's name. They probably don't want their names here. But you know that, you know, when you submit forms to me on my website, I spit out one of these invoices, right? And all my terms and conditions are on there, and you can read that. You get a copy of this. I get a copy of this. That's me. I want to keep track of everything, you know? Oh, and by the way, I know this is a client's envelope, and this has all their relevant information in there. It has all their CGC information, all their pressing information, all the comics they sent in. It has all the CGC info information. I keep it all organized and together so that I'm not mixing things up. I don't want to give people's books to the wrong. I don't want to mix people's books up. So you have to be organized. So make sure that when you go to your local comic shop to submit to CGC, make sure you just don't walk away with nothing. They should be giving you some kind of paperwork to say that you actually dropped off the books, right? And on that paperwork, there should also be maybe estimated turnaround time. Now, I know most comic shops and most guys do ask for money up front for their books. I choose not to do that yet. I don't collect any fees until the job is done. I figure I have your comics. What am I going to do? I'm going to take your money as well. So once the work is done, then I get paid. And that's how I do things. Again, I don't begrudge anybody who wants to get paid up front, because CGC is very expensive. And as soon as the books hit CGC, they charge you immediately. So it's not like, and oftentimes like the comic store or the guy sending the books in have to cover your fees up, you know, for a few months, right? So that can be a burden. So I understand that. I'm not going to begrudge anybody that. Is there anything else? A good rule of thumb too: if you're submitting books to a comic store or to a presser, you might want to take pictures of your books. You know, especially if you're using somebody for the first time, you don't know them very well. If you're submitting your books to a comic store that you don't know, or to a presser that you're trying out, maybe take pictures of your books to make sure that you're getting your books back. I've been hearing other stories from people as well about getting their books back and saying, well, this is not my book, but then, well, where's your proof? So take pictures ahead of time to make sure that you have records of what you're submitting. Just little things. How long does it take now? With our cell phones, we can snap some pictures pretty quick, you know, and then you have some, because you know what, the books are gone for 3 or 4 months. You might forget some of the idiosyncrasies of the book, and then you'll actually remember if you have it on your phone. Okay. Anyways, guys, those are a few points to consider before handing your books over to a new presser, or handing your books over to a company to submit your books to CGC as well. There are a lot of really good pressers out there. There are a lot of really amazing dealers who submit books to CGC. Ask around, talk to your friends, join some Facebook groups as well. There's a number of Facebook groups that deal with just this, and you can ask, hey, I'm in Toledo, Ohio. Who do I send my books to for pressing? Who do I send my books to for grading? And you're going to get probably a response by by dozens of people saying, use this guy, or use that guy, or trust this person, or trust that guy. So getting some referrals is always a good thing too. That's always nice, and that'll help as well. And if you have any questions that I did not answer today, if you have anything you want me to discuss on a future episode here, drop me an email, info@thecomicdoctor.com. That's info@thecomicdoctor.com. You can get to my my email at my website, which is right there. If you go to my website, my email's there as well. And just let me know what you want me to talk about. I've been doing this, like I said, for 10 years. I've dealt with shipping companies and the customs, and I've dealt with different dealers in the area as well. And I can probably answer most anything when it comes to CGC submissions. And I'm happy to also answer any questions you might have regarding pressing as well. Anyways, guys, that'll just about do it for me. I'll pop back on here again in a week or two with another how-to or tips video. And until next time, keep reading them comics. Take care, guys. Have a good night. Bye-bye.